In 1906, when Teddy Roosevelt proclaimed this the Grand Canyon game preserve, he called it America's finest deer herd. I would call it probably the finest deer herd on the planet. I used to read about this place in Field and Stream when I was probably about 12, 14 years old. Here I am 50 years later, kind of living the dream. The hunting's just terrific here.
Kaibab is probably one of the only places now where you can drive down the road and still see 100 to 150 deer going through some meadows. That's something that every child and human being in this world should be able to see because it's magnificent.
We want to see these areas set aside so that our next generation, my kids, my grandkids, can live the dream that I lived as well. Water is produced through these operations. A lot of it's contaminated. It goes into ponds, it seeps into the ground, it seeps into the water table, and you don't know where it's going to come out and who it's going to affect.
There are a lot of questions that we have with this type of mining in this environment in particular, because the hydrology is through fractured rock, and the flow through fractured rock can go in many different directions. Anyone, including the mining companies who claim they know the hydrology below the mines, really don't know what they're talking about.
The Lee's Ferry is such a pristine trout fishery, world famous. The trout are very strong, very healthy and beautiful. And of course, without the clean, cold water, they wouldn't exist there. You can't drink it, fish can't live in it.
Mule deer are nomadic animals. They have been known to travel hundreds of miles on the same migratory paths they've had since the beginning of time. If we were to impede those areas, it's going to cause undue stress. We want to make sure these mule deer have a path from point A to point B like they've been doing for thousands of years.
When you have a valuable resource like this for hunters and fishermen, for wildlife, you don't want to risk it for some short-term proposition, especially one that has a lot of uncertain outcomes. What's driving the move to get rid of the moratorium? It's about trying to create jobs, but I think it's somewhat misguided in that the majority of jobs that are provided up here today, and it's a growing industry, relates to tourism and recreation and hunting and fishing, which contribute enormously to the local economy here.
Mining does not drive our economy here. Access to public lands, national park system, hunting, sportsmen, angling, that's what is our important economic driver here.
Teddy Roosevelt knew what he was doing. He understood there was a need to keep these things for people and for the wildlife that lives there. Right now we know where we're at. We know without the mining that we're in good shape, that the water won't get contaminated, that we're not going to lose mule deer. We can't just think about today and not think about tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be our kids, our grandkids, and our great-grandkids, and they're going to want to see the same things we see. And the only way we can do that is we have to be smart. In this case, the smart thing to do would be a permanent mineral withdrawal.